if we got a show for you. Lil Sean. Broccoli, celery, gotta be VeggieTales. Lima beans, collard greens, peachy keen, VeggieTales. Cauliflower, sweet and sour, half an hour, VeggieTales. VeggieTales, VeggieTales, it's time for VeggieTales. Throwback.
Yeah, one of my coworkers had said to me about the Christmas Village. I was like, I'm actually going there next week. And they're like, why are you going there? And I was like, to talk to a friend of the show, Kurt Heinecke.
Friend of the pod.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my coworker is like 20. He was like, from VeggieTales. I was like, yeah. He was like, what? I was like, you can go if you want. Yeah. It's not
just
invite only.
Just listen for the tuba player.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because the one of the first weeks, I'm carrying around my tuba, my Helicon, which is around the corner there. You saw it. That's a 100-year-old Helicon.
Wow.
And just walked around the corner, and a guy a little younger than you, he just said, VeggieTales? He doesn't even know who I am. He just sees the tuba, and I'm like, you don't know, do you? And he's like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, well, here. And then my son was with me, and so we played the VeggieTales theme song for him. And then I told him, and he's like, jaw drops, and that's not the first time that's happened. Our German band that plays here, they're playing 13 days total here. We didn't used to play VeggieTales, but we got enough people that just randomly would yell out VeggieTales because they see the tuba, which I just think is so crazy. How many instruments in the world that you see an instrument and you think of a song,
like a specific. Well, every saxophone player, especially if you're at like a party with younger people, is gonna get asked "Careless Whisper."
Yes, exactly. That's an example. Yep, that's one of the few, and so it's just I get tickled by it.
It's iconic.
Now, a piano player friend of mine said that if you play the piano and you're at a party, learn Piano Man, and learn for goodness sake, for your mental health, learn Closing Time by Sonic.
Oh, that's funny. I remember when I was in junior high, it was Van Halen's Jump. If you could play that on a I was like, you were cool. And I never learned how to play it. So, anyways.
Well, Axel Left is always one of the first bass lines you learn, right?
Yeah. That's a cool one. Yep. That was one of those signature tunes too. So, anyways.
Yeah. Hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
I'm Michael Rufino.
And I'm Liz Brody.
And we got a show for you. We are here live on location at the Cullman Christmas Market with friend of the pod, Kurt Heinecke, everybody.
Hey, it's great to be here.
It's great to hang out. So how you've been here since, like you said, late November?
So we're in Cullman, Alabama here. I spent 10 years growing up here. I graduated from high school here in Cullman, Alabama. And now that I live in Nashville and playing a German band on the side for the fun of it, 4 years ago, I reached out to Cullman because I knew they had a authentic German Christmas market, which is called a Christkindlmarkt. And said, hey, do you need, we've got a German band. Do you need any Christmas music? Because I love Christmas and I've done all sorts of Christmas stuff. That, we actually do. So we came down, and every year it has grown exponentially. This year, I am here all 24 days of the market, performing every day. I've got 8 different groups that come down from Nashville. The German band, I've got my own family. We've got a trio. We've got other duos and soloists, and I kind of keep track of all of them. So we've got 3 or 4 groups playing every day, and it's open now till the 23rd. It's the nation's largest German Christmas market now, which is crazy for a little town in northern Alabama. And it's a ton of fun. I love to I wander through the crowd with my tuba, or it's a Helicon in this case. Think of what Larry plays. And I walk up to kids and I say, what's your favorite Christmas carol? And 80% of the time they say Jingle Bells, and I hand them a set of Jingle Bells. And I play Jingle Bells, and I said, okay, you're going to have to play along with me. And I played Jingle Bells on the tuba. And and then they get a smile on their face, and they think it's just so much fun. And so it's just really neat to just randomly bring a little bit of joy into people's lives and fun and laughter and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we walked around and sampled. We of course had to get some food.
We've eaten so much.
I can tell. The movement helps it.
Yeah. Well, and it's cold today, so you'll burn off those calories.
Exactly.
So you go ahead and eat all you need.
Yeah, stay warm. Get like 5 schnitzels.
Yeah.
I love every. I think I read somewhere every culture in the world discovered fried chicken.
Flat fried chicken.
Flat fried chicken. The Chinese have fried chicken. The Indian have fried chicken. The Italians have everywhere. Figured out fried chicken. It's like a universal human
That's funny.
discovery.
Yeah.
So you've been out here. What have you been up to lately since we last chatted?
Okay, so I'm trying to remember what we.
Summertime.
Okay, so probably the same.
Projects I can't talk about.
Actually, the good thing is we're moving forward. Okay, so Mike Naraki, aka Larry the Cucumber. We've probably talked about this already. The Dead Sea Squirrels is the series that he's working on. We have already finished season 1, 13 episodes, fully animated. It's out there on Minnow, and we are now at the beginning of season 2, and we're working on it. We've got the green light for it, so it's very exciting. So this next year, I will be working pretty heavily on season 2 of Dead Sea Squirrels, writing all the score. And then we write a song for every episode. We alternate. Mike and I write a song, and then the next episode, Steve Taylor and Mike write a song. And so, yeah, it's a ball, and it's fun to be back in that going, okay, we actually have a game plan and a calendar lined up. So that's the big thing I'm working on. This market, is this past 2 months, it's not full-time, but it's almost, might as well be full-time. But yeah, Dead Sea Squirrels is the biggie right now.
Cool. And so we're going to kind of, since we have a little bit of time, we just talk to you kind of about music and world music in general, because I know you know a ton about music from all over the world and history. I loved, we're about to watch the Christmas episodes, the earlier Christmas ones.
Okay.
Toys Save Christmas and
Vintage.
Vintage classic. And we know you have a lot of, when the score in that, you put in a lot of really old Christmas music and like little Easter eggs that I picked up on them as I was a kid. Things like slipping the first Noel in there.
Yeah, I don't even remember. Okay, so the funny thing is we watched a little bit of that just last month with my 2 grandkids, and I haven't watched it in years. And part of it's I'm embarrassed because that's 30 years ago, and the technology at the time and my skill set just weren't where they were today. So I hear all I wish that could be fuller, or I'd redo that. But so much I was like, okay, that held up pretty well. But yeah, I always, because I love Christmas, in the score, I'm trying to sneak in just snippets of Christmas carols and da 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 da, and then I go back into a score and whatever tune that is. And I've lost track, but there's probably 10 or 12 references in that score to different Christmas. Oh, that's right. I think it's when the chase scene is going.
Yeah.
But it's in like a multimeter thing. It's like dum 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 dum, something like that. So it's kind of hidden there, but it's an intense score piece. I just remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that bit too with the penguins.
Yeah.
I guess the one animal, or one of the 2 animals that they could get pretty.
Yeah.
Was the penguin and the sheep. There were sheeps and penguins.
Exactly.
Early VeggieTales.
The 2 animals.
Yeah, it's both animals. Yeah, the 2 animals in the Bible, sheeps and penguins. So I'm just kind of curious. You have very eclectic music taste. I remember you mentioned you listened to like 40s pop music in the car.
Oh yeah, and
so like, what are you listening to lately? Just
all Christmas, 24/7,
like all day long.
Seriously, yeah. And I discovered every Sirius channel that has Christmas on it, which there's about 8 channels right now, and because not that I'm, advertising for Sirius, but it just happens to be. I'm on the go so much, I've got an app and it's in my car, so I just got all the channels right there, and I jump between the classical and the old vintage, 40s, 50s.
What is your favorite Christmas album?
Ooh, okay, wow. Okay, the list. Probably one of my most influential was one of the Julie Andrews Firestone albums, one of her first one, because that's what my family played. You know, growing up in the 70s, that came out probably in the late 60s, and beautiful voice, beautiful arrangements, and just for me, it was nostalgic because that means family to me. But it's interesting when I think about all the Christmas music these days. You know, Julie Andrews, a non-quote-unquote Christian artist, putting out a record album sponsored by Firestone, the tire company, and every song is a really powerful Christian carol or Christian song. And nowadays we get, you know, my wife was just saying, I wish, you know, the Christian radio station wasn't always playing, you know, Mariah Carey or whatever. It's like there's so much other stuff. It's just interesting to see there was more of it was just standard to include all of the standard Christmas carols back in those recordings in the 60s and 70s and that sort of stuff. So that was a big one. There was a big Reader's Digest album with big orchestra and stuff that, again, I grew up on, that I loved. I'm also a brass player, trumpet player, so there's one or two, what was the one? Bay Brass? There's a couple of brass albums, and I just love the majesty of brass music, especially around Christmas. Big fanfares and, you know, big arrangements of hymns and that stuff.
If I ever think of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, it's always played by brass. Like, that's always, I don't know why. It's barely a song that's always done by the brass.
My only real connection to Christmas music was, you know, I was in the band in school and I played trumpet. So
awesome.
That was my the only time that I would listen to Christmas music was when we had Christmas concerts for school, and that was the only time that because, you know, I didn't really have a connection to it. It's not really you know, super. I wouldn't listen to it. It'd be on the store. It's kind of like that music to me almost. But you know, when a Christmas concert rolled around and you know, when we play Dashing Through the Snow, you know, that, and that part where all the trumpet players get to just let loose for a good 4 counts in the middle, and you get your get your moment for that. I was yes, I'm so excited about this. So playing brass at Christmas was always really exciting.
I'm also thinking earlier today, Andy Williams doesn't get a ton of play the rest of the year, except for.
Well, that's one of the reasons I love Christmas music is you get. Well, let's take examples. You know, jazz, early jazz. You look at, you know, Charlie Brown, Peanuts. Christmas time is here. Those chords are complex chords. You never hear them the rest of the year unless you're a big jazz fan. But at Christmas, you go, yeah, I want to hear Vince, and I want to hear Christmas Time is Here, and that's so nostalgic, so cool. So we're getting exposed to a lot of things that you wouldn't normally listen to. We're hearing, you know, lyrics about Christ the Savior, and I know that, you know, a lot of people goes in one ear and out the other, but it's just neat to know that it's still there, and you hear the lyrics and you hear about, you know, a Savior and all of those things that we all need to hear. So
one thing I love about this season is kind of regardless of religious affiliation, the spirit of Jesus, the kindness, leaks out to everybody. Everybody's kinder to each other. People give more. You're
exactly right, and I love the just the spirit of the holidays. I mean, here I'm walking through a market playing my tuba, and that's not something I would normally do, and people would look funny at you. But here it's oh, that's so cool, that's so neat, that's just fun. And so you can get away with a lot of things and just bring a fun spirit. You're exactly right. People are less cynical and they're more childlike. I remember this or that about my childhood and I want to recreate that.
Exactly. And you know, people are more willing to help each other with a flat tire or, you know, if you see people struggling with a package in public. I love that spirit kind of leaks out of it to everybody else.
I was going to say, every time I drive around this time of year, I'm always, I like the lights, you know. I think every culture does have a light related festival around this time, and I get kind of sad when they all come down.
Yes,
in January. I'm like,
it's so much darker.
leave them up until daylight savings. We can all agree on this. It's gonna be okay. Like,
Yep.
We're recording on location. We got music in the background. If you're listening at home and that's what you're wondering.
There's a group in the next room that they do like an acrobatic act here.
Oh.
And so they have their own show. It's like elves balancing things and
I saw the stilt.
exactly. They bring a different team in every weekend, and it's some pretty serious, fun stuff. But,
And they're committing to the stilts. They're walking around in the green room still on stilts.
yeah,
Yes.
they're bouncing around. He even went down. There's a slide down at the other end. He went down the slide on stilts.
it's commitment.
Liz is Jewish. Tonight's the first night of Hanukkah. You mentioned you knew a lot about like Middle Eastern music and music from ancient history. If you want to talk about that a little bit, I'd be interested to hear what you're familiar with.
It's just it's been rewarding for me over the years. Not as much with VeggieTales, but then with CBN I did Superbook. A lot of Old Testament stories, a lot of music that needed to feel authentic. And so I just started incorporating more and more of that. And then I'll get to these others also, but over the years I've got a whole wall full of ethnic flutes, Irish whistles, Native American flutes, ocarinas, anything that can be a wind instrument that can be blown. And so many of those are related in the sounds that they can make. And you can, even an Irish whistle, you can make sound Middle Eastern by the way you bend the notes, the way you use your vibrato, and those sorts of things. And so I've been able to kind of study some of that. And you have to be careful as an outsider, like, am I honoring the true music? And I did a big project a couple years ago. Salim was it? It was a Middle Eastern project that was put out by a group of Christians, but it wasn't overtly Christian. What it was emphasizing was it was built to speak to kids that are in orphanages or have been through PTSD because of a war or losing a family member, often a father, to a war. And so this series walked through these. It was actually built with some psychologists. That okay, here's the things that we need to be aware of, that we need to address in these stories about dealing with loss and those sorts of things. And it was all taking place in the Middle East, and so I used a lot of Middle Eastern music. And the thing that was really rewarding was they were playing these in refugees in the Middle East and getting feedback back from the kids that they really liked the music, and it was really added to a part. And I just felt very rewarded that, okay, I'm serving the story and I'm not being blasphemous to the music. And so, and now we're doing Dead Sea Squirrels. Again, a lot of the story, they go back to the Middle East and visit the different locations in the Holy Land where Jesus was. And so I'm using a lot of Middle Eastern music. So yeah, it's been fun to just stretch my palette with some, not only live instruments. I actually, as I'm talking here, I've done 4 projects now for the Museum of the Bible. And some of those are in the museum. And I've bought a couple professional dudukes, which are Middle Eastern reed instruments, and learned to play those. So it's been a fun. I like to stretch myself in those sorts of things.
Yeah, that's cool. Always learning.
Yep.
We just did the animated Adventures of Larry Boy and the Yodel Napper, and when we went into it, we were kind of talking about like how at the time that the episode was released, there were a lot of like shows on like Nickelodeon. I can remember a lot of like Nickelodeon specific plot lines kind of being about like polka music as the butt of the joke, and it being like not very good. It's like, kids being like disco's bad and polka's bad. And I was like, I think if we were outsiders looking in, this could seem like a funny, like, haha, kids don't like polka plot. But I was like, we've talked to Kurt Heinecke, and we know how much he loves polka. And right after we had interviewed you, I'd seen like a TikTok or something that was talking about like the connection between polka and Mexican regional
Oh,
music.
yeah.
And I was like, I need to know so much more about this. It was fascinating. So I went down like a little bit of a rabbit hole on that. But we went into that episode being like, wait, no, now we know about polka and we know the truth. And we know that there's like actually like a deep connection there.
Oh,
and it
that's
made the
funny.
episode so much better because we were like, oh, wait, no, there's an appreciation for polka here. Like the polka, like the yodelers and the polka musicians are like the stars for this town. And like Bumblebear loves
that's
polka
funny. That's
so
funny.
much. And we were just like, thank you, Kurt, for enlightening us on
That's so funny.
some polka aspects.
I've said this often in interviews, but I've always been thankful that what we do in VeggieTales, I never felt like I'm writing down to kids. I'm not writing kids' music. I'm writing a legitimate polka, or for Barbara Manatee, a legitimate tango that just happens to be sung by a limbless vegetable. And so we're in on the joke, and he takes it all seriously. So again, yeah, the polkas, it's probably a pretty legitimate polka. It just happens to have humorous lyrics on top of it, as an example. So that's always been fun to do. And I mean, I don't know how you can not be happy when you hear a polka. It's just that upbeat, and it's like, that's what kids' music is too.
Exactly.
And I think, looking back on what we've done in VeggieTales, I feel good about the fact that it's kind of timeless, because a polka, it's never going to go out of fashion or get into fashion, however you want to look at it. But it's not like, oh, we're locked into the sound of the 1980s or the 1990s. No, we're taking, classical music, folk music that's been around for hundreds of years, and just repurposing it. So I feel good, kind of educating kids a little bit. They don't realize they're getting educated, but they're hearing these musical forms. There's a tango, there's a polka, and then when we do have fun with it, like Belly Button Song, we're poking fun at boy bands. We're not saying, oh, this is our genre. We're boy bands, and we're poking fun at it.
Yeah, I was going to say, for a couple of weeks, we were going to do the Larry Boy cartoon episodes because they count. We've decided that they count.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of that was Little Joe. And so Liz
Little
kept
Joe.
saying... Liz kept saying, all right, I watched Little Joe. It's like, it's not Little Joe, it's Yodel Napper this week. And so for like 4 weeks, Liz has watched it.
I've had Belly Button in my head for 4 weeks now.
Belly Button is some of your finest works.
It's one of over time, because people say, what's your favorite? That has definitely come to the top. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I really feel like we nailed that one, because it's such a fun parody on boy bands. It's a thick song. I mean, I worked on all those vocal arrangements and taught Mike and Phil all the parts, and it's like, okay, this is a legit boy band song.
Yeah, a little rap.
Yeah. I borrowed at the time it was our babysitter. She had all the boy band CDs, and I borrowed them, and I literally studied what makes a boy band song, the chords, the sounds that they use, the style. And I feel like, we really captured kind of that poking fun at that moment in time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been in my head for 4 weeks now.
And I think it's like what Mel Brooks said, you have to kind of love what you parody, or at least understand it very well.
Yeah, because you have a reverence for it, but you have a respect of it.
Yeah, you can only poke good fun at something that you know.
Exactly.
Because if you're poking fun at something that you don't know, it comes across almost like bullying. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yep. And the people that really know that genre know that, you don't really know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's kind of like after you had told us that Lisa Fisher was like a classically trained vocal artist, and as I've always said when we've watched episodes where Junior is singing, it was like, it takes so much restraint and talent and vocal control to sing that off key.
Exactly.
Like, it's so hard to sing like that. Like, you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah, because you could sing it so much better.
I'm like so dedicated to how off key it is, and it's incredible every time. And especially in Belly Button, the notes that she hits, I'm like, oh my god, the control on that is crazy.
Yeah.
We just recorded Autotainment too.
Oh.
And I noticed that she hit a note off key as part of the punchline that Junior doesn't sing on key.
Yeah.
So she hit an off key note as a joke.
Yep.
Like a perfectly timed joke.
Yep. So you have to know, like you said, know what you're doing in that situation, and be very disciplined in how you handle that.
So one thing I was curious about Autotainment, did you have those arrangements and those songs done already and just animated stuff to it, or were you
Done? You mean the little theme song
the
thing?
little song parts, the little sketches and
I'm trying to remember.
tracks?
Oh, you know what? I can tell you because we always have to have the music done so that we can do the timing to the animation. So whether it was fully realized, a lot of times, or a silly song also, you might have the piano part. Here's the click, 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 da, 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 da. And it's just a piano playing it. But now, okay, we know the tempo, we know the key, we know the feel. We can start animating it. Then I can go circle back around and fill it out in the style that we need. But the tempo never changes. And I don't remember specifically how we did that, but that would make sense that we probably wrote all that first, and then they come in and animate it. I do have fun with just that Autotainment feel because we really looked at stuff like the. I studied the old Wonderful World of Disney, theme, and just Autotainment.
As we noticed that we talked about at the beginning, you almost predicted the modern age with that episode.
That's exactly, people have been saying, they predicted like AI jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our guest was shocked. She was like, "This is uncanny. This is so horrifying, and the music's good, and like, what is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah, the guest we had on is like an atheist with no real background and anything, and he was charmed. He's like, if VeggieTales is like this is charming. And
that speaks to one of Phil Vischer's goal in just overseeing the big thing was, unlike so much Christian entertainment, his philosophy was we have to entertain them first, then get their respect to then listen to the message. And, I was just rereading reviews on YouTube. I don't remember what I watched of ours, but, all of these old comments about, and unfortunately, a lot of them were like, I don't go to church now, and I grew up on religious. I didn't even realize it was religious. They just thought it was entertaining. And hopefully one of these days, somebody's sitting alone, depressed about something, and they go, "Oh, wow." They said, God loves you. He made you special, and he loves you very much. Maybe there's something to that. And they go, "Yeah, that's it." We had a letter once from an atheist, or she might have been Muslim, I don't remember, but she said, "I want to know the God of Jacob and Isaac and Moses and Bob and Larry." It's like it's opening doors without being preachy, but it's just showing, there's something there. And so with the silly song, there's nothing spiritually there, but if it gets you hooked, and then they go, who is this? What are we talking about? And then they just start exploring it. It's one of the few things that I can look back and see it crossed religious and political boundaries like nothing else. There's so much stuff going on right now that it's so hard to be able to talk to anybody about anything because you have to get past so much baggage first. And, with VeggieTales, there wasn't any baggage. It's just, here's the simple stories and here's the lesson in it. And
Yeah. One thing I liked about I listened to a great interview with Phil Vischer and Steve Taylor. Please come on our show, both of you. Mr. Heinecke could put in a good word. But I love that I have heard that even like LGBT movies about those issues have the same problem as Christian movies because they are pushing an agenda first.
yeah, it's obvious.
And they're not telling a story, a compelling story first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I liked about Phil's work. And the only like Christian movies, quote unquote, that are like made by Christians and not like explicitly. Like, I don't know if Les Miserables counts, but we'll put that aside. But I loved Steve Taylor's movies because they are about people and characters and struggles. It's like I really like his movie Second Chance talks about something nothing. No evangelical movies really talk about the racial divide, class divide in church. That was nobody. You don't really see that from anyone else.
Just to kind of go back, I feel like I say this on the show almost every week now, but going back, watching the episodes, having the guests that we have on, the community that we've built for ourselves, because we pull from our friend group of comedians and people in kind of like our very artistic circle. A lot of our guests have grown up with some pretty intense religious trauma. Most of our friends are from the South, from the Birmingham area. And a lot of us, who have been on the show, have been guests. A lot of us are members of the queer community or aren't religious anymore or have different views. But like the thing that, at the same time, these are people who have heard about the show and have either asked us to be on a specific episode or have been like super excited to do it and have been like, I was waiting for you to ask me.
Awesome.
And they watch the show and they're like, I love this. This is like bringing back really good childhood memories. And like, I love the message and just there's so much joy and acceptance and just like pure, like good that like comes up for people when they watch the episodes and they're like, I might watch more. Like this was so good and like so good to go back and visit. And it's such a like happy, joyful memory for so many people. And being able to like rekindle that for some of our friends has been really nice, but it's also just like it's such testament to like how good the work is. And like I don't know, it makes me proud every week, and I can't imagine what it feels like to be the one who like made it, like
There's no cynicism in Bob and Larry. Well, maybe in Bob.
Bob
But in Larry,
tries.
right. But in Larry, it's like, oh, that's refreshing. It's kind of like what would be other characters, a Mr. Bean or a SpongeBob. Larry, there's that song that he does about the blues. And is it Blind Melon, Blind Lemon? It's like, Larry, you can't sing the blues because you're not sad enough.
Yeah.
Well, he can't be sad.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so it's just fun to come from that mindset, that worldview. He's a talking cucumber, but it's like, it's refreshing to have a childlike faith, and you just take it for what it is and believe in it, and don't have to be cynical about it.
Now, I remember Liz has invited me over to Passover, and I always take to heart that you approach the Torah as children.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Always always young to God the Father.
Yes, exactly.
Always learning.
Yep.
That's why we always have candy at Passover.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I also somehow, despite having just turned 30, I am the youngest at Passover.
You are always the youngest, so you always have to ask the 4 questions.
Yes. And I get sent after the afternoon.
And you have to find the Afikomen every year, so you have to literally be the child at the Seder.
That's excellent.
I understand a child.
Yep. We've stopped asking what everyone's birthdays were. We're like, all right, Michael. Time to go
I'm
find
here.
Other than Dead Sea Squirrels, where are you starting on next year? Is that most of it, or you got anything else going?
Dead Sea Squirrels will be I don't want to say the bulk of the year, but it's going to be a good chunk of the year, and it's good because I know it's coming up, which isn't always the case. There is some stuff this is one of those. It's like, I don't even remember how much is out there. But Phil,
I can cut out whatever you.
I don't know, because Phil and he's working on. Has there been stuff out there about the Phil and Mike show?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't even remember how much. Because I did a.
There's a pilot, like a brief.
Yeah.
Pilot.
Yeah.
So I worked on the pilot for the Phil and Mike show with Phil, and hopefully there will be some more stuff that comes from that hopefully I'll be working on a little bit. Those are the 2 big things, and then there's always a side project here and there that pops up, and then I'm really busy, and then it kind of goes away. And then I do a lot of photography on the side too.
Okay. Yeah.
And I get a couple jobs a month that just fills in the gaps, and that's a lot of fun too.
If you need something shot, khstudios.com?
Yep, .biz.
.biz.
khstudios.biz.
If you need photography taken,
I travel. I mean, this spring I'll be on the K-Love the K-Love music cruise. I've photographed that, and I've done a couple other cruises this past year for artists, and then I do a lot of the awards and a lot of the concerts. I photographed the National Symphony, and a lot of stuff like that. So I love doing that too.
Do you and your polka band have like a regular gig, or do you just kind of pop up as it?
Yeah. No, we don't have a regular gig. Sometimes we play in Nashville, but we at some of the festivals and Oktoberfests and that sort of thing. But we haven't been as busy with that until you get into September, October. You got Oktoberfest season, and then this Christmas market. We're just, I'm here 24 days. The band is here 13 days. So that's a big chunk of time, and we're playing all day. I mean, we play, could be 4 or 5 sets a day, starting at 11 and ending at 9 at night, or somewhere in that window. So yeah, but it's not like we're always playing, come see us sort of thing. Yep.
Well, thank you for chatting with us.
Yeah, thank you
Kurt,
so much.
Thank you for your time.
This was awesome. I'm glad you came out to the market.
Yeah,
When does this air? Are we talking months or a day or weeks or?
Let's try and get it up before the market stops.
Yeah.
So probably this week.
Yeah. So if you're interested in coming out to the market, it's open till the 23rd. Easiest way is to look up Cullman, Cullman, and just look up Christmas Market, and you'll find it. Technically, it's Cullman, Christkindlmarkt.com, but it's too much trouble for me to spell that for you because it's German. Yeah. They'd like to leave out vowels here and there.
So many consonants.
Add consonants, yeah.